Hey everybody, welcome back to the Best Coin News channel on YouTube. I'm sonofasilverstacker. Today's date is April 5, 2024, and I got an argument to make today about the United States Mint's bullion sales, and I do think they're tempering sales or governing sales, or maybe they have put a cap on the amount of coins they'll be selling each and every single month, and I'll show you the argument here in a second. But before we get to any of that, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. Now, over here to moneymetals.com. Wow, yeah, there we are. Gold up 240 to 2304.15. Silver down 15 cents to 26.95, but I suspect maybe not for long, right? Today is Friday. Platinum down 25.35. Wow, that just took it on the chin to 933.15, and then palladium down 215 to 1048.75. Now you're looking at in stock American Silver Eagle. His premium is $8.19, and that's kind of remarkable, seeing how all the movement we've seen in the precious metal prices, particularly silver, that we're still seeing the same premium at $8.19. Now you're going to get out of there for a total of $35.13 for a quantity of 1 through 39. I'm sure it's different elsewhere. And they will buy them back for $28.72 each. Now over here, here's the gut punch, folks, right here. I'm sorry to report this, but it does look this way. But 1 month a trend does not make. 3 months makes a trend, right? And we'll see how it goes. But here we are. This is the bullion sales for the year, calendar year, that is, 2024. And here we are, April 5. And, yeah, I don't think we're going to have any more additional numbers added to March. So if you can see here, we have total gold sales right here, and then silver and ounces, right? We're 12,000 ounces of gold sold for the month of March, okay? There's a minor alliteration there going on. And then 850,000, okay, American Silver Eagles. Remember that number, 12,000 and 850. Now, if you're not familiar with the 850, you should be, because 2 years ago, the Mint had like 4 months in a row of 850,000. And I think that's what makes me immediately go, oh my gosh, they're capping it again. Here they go. And that's why we're seeing such high buyback prices right there from the bullion dealers. Now, what's your bullion dealer buying it back at? Is it 28 bucks and change? Now, let's go to the following year. Well, the previous year, rather. Previous year. Let's go to the previous year, 2023, all right? Remember, 12,000 and 850,000. All right, here we go. Total gold sales. That's the ounces, and that is the number of coins. And look at that. Look at that. They were capped at 900,000 for February, March, and April of last year. What? Yeah. That's incredible. And then the least minted gold coins in the ounces, all right, 17,000. And that was in December. And really, let's face it, December, the mint is winding down from the busy year. So it makes sense that they're going to have a lower total in December. But why in March and April? Scratchy head moment. Let's keep on keeping on. Bullion sales, all right, calendar year 2022. And there we are. Look at that. If that doesn't say sore thumb, remember those 4 months where we had the 850,000? Well, in March, we're at 850,000 now. So, yeah, we are having a Groundhog Day moment, potentially. And, maybe the Mint, increases at 50,000 to 900,000, maybe another 75,000. That'll put us at 925, much like it was in June of that same year. But look at this. Again, the same story at the end of the year. We're having lower sales for gold and American Silver Eagles. And I do think that the United States Mint is capping sales this year, even though we are still only just 3 months in, 1/4 of the year, right? So let's keep on keeping on. Now, this is 2021, and this is an oddball year. Well, look at the numbers. Why do you think that is? Well, because the Type 1 and Type 2 American Eagles came out that year, right? So they had a little shift, a little stoppage in work, and then they switched over to the Type 2. So this really, you can kind of say that this isn't really something you can rely on. This is just an oddball year, all right? 20,000. Look at this. Okay, 20,000, 38,000, 66,000. So running pretty light there at the Mint. Look at that, 42,000 there. And these are ounces. Remember, these are ounces sold. Yeah, not very many that year. All right. Well, there was that year. Look at this, 1 million. But they were clumped up in large amounts here at the end and then at the beginning. Right here when the transition years, yeah, they went pretty light. So, yeah, it's all over the map on this one. Look at that. Bam. So let's keep on keeping on. And this is going to be the last year we're looking at. And this, I know it does say 2019, but this is 2020 because we're staying in the 2020s, that decade, all right? So we're going to keep on keeping on. Look, they went pretty light here in February at 7,000, and then in May, 11,500. All right, so that puts us closer to what we're seeing nowadays, right, today for the March numbers. I thought that was interesting, but what was going on? Oh, yeah. March and April and May of 2020 was the pandemic. So these numbers aren't really reliable either. Yeah. And this is about the closest we can get. 850, right here, 650, 750 again. Like I said, these numbers are really odd because of the pandemic that year. And then we finished the year at 751. So are those reliable? I don't know, but they did produce quite a bit of American Silver Eagles that year. Now, let's keep on keeping. Well, okay, so let's just say that the mint is being pretty tight-fisted with their American Silver Eagles bullion and, right, well, and gold bullion, right? But we're not here to talk about the gold bullion. We're here to talk about the silver bullion. So what do you do? All right, and this is just serendipitous, I tell you, that this actually came out yesterday from Mr. Patrick Heller at Numismatic News. So what do you do in lieu of getting bullion from you-know-who? Dang, I'm sorry. Well, you consider pre-1965 U.S. 90% silver coins. That's what you do. What? Yeah. So clearly, look, I think Mr. Patrick Heller is noticing this too, that the bullion availability is kind of diminished a little bit because, well, look, people are buying bullion right now like mad, in my opinion, and the mint isn't fulfilling, in my opinion, its obligation to the public to make that bullion available. So if they're capping it at 850,000 per month for the next few months, well, people are going to have to start looking elsewhere. And right here, Patrick Heller, I believe, has the answer. He says here, at one time, 90% silver dimes, quarters, and half dollars were the most popular way of owning bullion silver in America. Absolutely. And you know what? When stuff hits the fan, folks, what do you think is going to be more recognizable? Your exonumia or this, well, 90% silver coins that everybody can recognize, right? Yeah. So that's what, well, one thing going for this particular 90% silver. And there's other stuff going on too, right? Besides being familiar, it's fractional too, right? So that's amazing. And also, the premium on fractional bars is remarkably high, but so sometimes is the premium on this 90% silver old school circulating coins, right? These just junk silver, right? As some people call it. Well, I tell you, you just have to be wise. But listen, I think this is the right move. If you can't find bullion, this is what you get right here. Bam! This 90%. It's just the way to go. Now, it says here, the appeal of these coins was easy to understand. Almost all adults. Right, I'm so geeked up, you guys. You don't even know. I'm super excited. I think I might go this route again. I did in the past, but I walked away from it, went towards U.S. Mint stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just, yeah, because if they're going to have less bullion available, we got to do something, right? Almost all adults remembered spending these coins in everyday commerce and knew what they were. That's right. See, familiarity. Telling you, back then, privately manufactured 1-ounce silver art bars, that's the exonumia I was talking about, were being marketed as collector's items at much higher than bullion prices. And they still are, actually, folks. So many different issues come out over the years that most are now treated on the basis of bullion value. That's a gut punch. Remarkably, what a surprise. It took longer for fabricators to figure out that they could make profit of mass-producing silver bars of different sizes to sell as competitively priced bullion products. Absolutely. And that's what they're talking about, different sizes. So it's a lot less expensive to buy a 1,000-ounce bar of silver than it is a 1/4-ounce bar of silver, just because of the manufacturing process, the time it takes. Yeah, it's true. The premium is completely different on those two. That's just the way it stacks up. All right. Today, privately produced silver bars and rounds are competitively priced with U.S. 90% silver coins. There you go. All right. They have an advantage over coins that it is easy to calculate the melt value by simply multiplying the number of ounces by the spot price. However, 90% United States coins, right, silver coins, have some advantages over the private issues, and they're going to go over them right here. Watch this. You can carry them across national borders, for instance, and you don't have to pay a duty tax on legal tender coinage. What? Yeah. Scot-free, right? Plus, to get a lower premium on a bar, you must purchase a larger size, such as 100 troy ounces, if you get into a situation where you may need to someday spend your silver. If the U.S. dollar collapses, that's the stuff hits the fan I was talking about. It's a lot easier to spend a dime with the silver content of about 1/14 of a troy ounce. Figures circulated, U.S. 90% silver coins have a content about 0.715 troy ounce per dollar of face value instead of a 10-ounce, kilogram, or 100-ounce bar. So if you have a 10-ounce or a kilogram or a 100-ounce bar, you're going to take little shavings with your knife and just, okay, well, let me add this up and I'll just do these shavings like you're like on a flint trying to start a fire when you're camping, right? Not fun. All right. U.S. 90% silver coins are also highly liquid. Who would have thought? A coin dealer would be willing to purchase them, as would thousands or millions of collectors. Yeah, so the demand is there, right? So not only are they familiar, but everybody likes them and wants them. Okay, there you go. The one drawback, here we go. So maybe there's more than one, though, right? The one drawback is that different U.S. 90% silver coins have experienced various levels of wear from circulation. That's absolutely true. Well-worn coins have a lower silver content, right? If they're, if there's no devices on it and it's just a slick, well, where'd that silver go, right? Into the ether. Now, when these coins were being melted in mass by refiners, when the silver spot price reached $50 in January of 1980, can you believe it? What if today we hit that? Wow. The refiners purchased the coins by weight rather than count, and I think that's smart right there. Buy it by weight rather than count. When silver again neared $50 at the end of April 2011, wholesalers required a minimum gross weight per dollar of face value, or the purchase price would be discounted. Absolutely smart move. Now, like where I work, many good coin dealers still make sure any bulk sales of U.S. 90% silver coins still meet the 2011 minimum gross weight standard. That's good news. Now, it says here, I have two warnings for purchasers of these popular coins. Some dealers try to push 1964 dated coins at a premium price because they may contain more silver. Uncirculated coins contain 0.723 troy ounce of silver per dollar of face value. Now, if you do the math, they are almost always charging a premium price that is not worth to get a slightly higher silver content. Yeah, not worth it. So those slicks are just as good, right? Now, also in the late 80s and into the 90s, a national telemarketer was promoting the half dollars of semi-numismatic coins at a premium price. They sold enough product that ever since then, halves have tended to be available only at a slightly higher price than charged for dimes and quarters. I don't recommend paying this higher price. When silver prices shoot up again, I can just about guarantee the dealers and refiners will pay the exact same rate for halves as they do for the smaller coins. So don't waste money today for allegedly pay more for the rarity. That's right. Now, but if you do purchase half dollars, another warning, here we go, is to make sure you don't get stuck with any low purity 40% silver Kennedy half dollar struck from circulation from 1965 to 1969, and I do believe the 1970 half dollar in the uncirculated set was also 40%. That was the last 40% silver Kennedy, but it was not struck for circulation. All right. By owning U.S. 90% silver coins, by the way, you could also become a collector by sorting out the different dates and mint marks and have fun with them. Yeah, you can fill a book, right? Even if they're ugly. All right, as long as the date's on there. Answer the previous trivia. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Going to move on. Yada, yada. Thank you, Mr. Patrick Heller, for giving us an alternative to buying U.S. mint bullion from bullion dealers like, well, these folks over here at Money Metals. Now let's get to those plus ones. Bam, boom, shakalaka. This is Ecclesiastes 4:6. It says here, better is one handful of pleasantness than two fistfuls of labor and vexation of the spirit. And I think what that means, it's better for someone to earn less, but with tranquility and quiet and peace, than to earn much more money through difficult labor and aggravation. Is it worth it? Probably not. No. Now, over here at 39's fine. 99.9. Yeah, this is Vivaldi, The Four Seasons, Las Cuatro Estaciones. Yeah, it's awesome. You'll know this. As soon as you'll hit play, you're like, oh, yeah, I know this. Duh. Hope you enjoyed it. It's 45, well, almost 45 minutes of good stuff. Now, I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button and go get you some 90%. I don't know what, but 90%, right? Stacker out.